Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome. I'm very pleased to be joined by the research team from World Week, Nara, Megan, and Laura. Welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
So you've completed the arduous process of all of the research for World Hydrogen Week. We've got a fantastic agenda up, hundreds of speakers, and obviously thousands of hours of work have gone into it. So the structure of the agenda is very exciting. We've got lots of new innovative parts of the agenda this year. So specifically the derivatives and the Congress is sort of happening at the same time. We're obviously seeing huge amounts of interest across the whole sort of spread of complexity, I guess, across the industry. So maybe do you want to just give us some of your synopsis around the key findings and what you've learned and how you've synthesized all of that into the agenda?
I'm the Programme Director for World Hydrogen Congress. This event covers the whole of the value chain, from everything from production through to consumption. So the research findings have been quite broad. Just to highlight a couple of interesting points that have come out. Projects taking FID have been fairly slow, and regulations and offtake have been some of the main bottlenecks for this. But what's been interesting is that people are really excited to hear how there's been lots of national elections this year, and so how changes in government could shift this pace. Another really interesting finding is the activity happening in China. So we have around, they have around 300 Chinese OEM suppliers already, and hydrogen prices said to be around 3 to 5 times cheaper than Western OEMs. So there's a big desire to understand the competitive advantage of different regions and its future role. The other interesting thing has been the number of companies focusing on natural hydrogen this year. So some of the biggest bottlenecks there are around government support for exploration to understand the real potential of the market. But the business case is really strong because there's no input costs. And so the potential for natural hydrogen to be pipeline ready without subsidies is really huge. So that's just a snapshot of some of the interesting topics coming out of our research.
Yeah, fascinating stuff, especially the rise of natural hydrogen. It wasn't really on a lot of people's radar almost sort of 18 months ago, but certainly some sort of strong interest there. In terms of some of the other parts, Laura, Nara, what have your thoughts been?
Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, so hi, I'm the Programme Director for World Hydrogen Derivatives. I'm also taking part during World Hydrogen Week. And my research on the derivative side has sort of yielded several critical insights, underscoring the transformative potential of those sort of compounds in the clean energy landscape. And just some of the sort of things that were coming out of my research included infrastructure development. So the infrastructure for the storage, transportation, and distribution for hydrogen derivatives. And that's in terms of it progressively moving forward and reducing logistical challenges and costs. So there'll be sessions around that. There's also policy regulation. So this was coming up a lot during my research phase. And so there's going to be a session on sort of the supportive policy frameworks and incentives and how critical those are in driving the adoption and integration of hydrogen derivatives, not only sort of in existing energy systems, essentially. However, regulatory uncertainties are also still posing a challenge. So obviously things are moving forward, but maybe at a slightly slower pace, but they'll all be addressed over that session. And then finally, it's also around technical collaboration. So how international collaboration is basically essential for advancing research and sharing best practices and overcoming all the technical and economic barriers that we're currently faced across the value chain. So collaborative efforts can be sort of accelerated and developed throughout the economy. So we'll have a session covering that also. And these sort of findings are just a few of the bits of sort of high level sessions that have come out of the initial research. And yeah, we look forward to welcoming everyone to the derivatives agenda.
Excellent. And in terms of I guess, there's a lot of competition amongst the derivatives of
yeah,
and OHC are kind of the big contenders. you seeing ammonia is still, obviously, as it has a defined market, so still is quite a lead, I guess, in developing green ammonia projects.
Yes, I would agree with that, Nad. Yeah, completely. But then also, obviously, there's everything from e-fuels and everything like that's coming up a lot. SAF came up a lot during my research, so there's a lot of interest in those areas too. But no, ammonia is still sort of standing out.
Yeah, excellent. And Nara, over to you in terms of your area of expertise and work on the program.
Okay, so I am the program director for a new element to World Hydrogen Week. So we are trying to create a new session for those carbon intensive and hard to abate sectors that are working on decarbonisation. So we've put together the program for the Innovate to Net Zero Summit. And when researching with various industries, including the steel, chemicals, fertilizer, data centers, and other very carbon intensive industries, I found that there was quite a few key common challenges that were faced by these industries when trying to figure out a route to net zero. So the biggest challenge that came up, unsurprisingly, is financing. It seems to be the biggest barrier given the high upfront costs and uncertainty around long-term investments. And then in a similar vein to Meg and Laura's research findings, the evolving political landscape, given the election year that it is this year across the world, means that it's quite difficult for companies to keep up with what tools are available to support them from a policy front. And then I think finally the big major challenge is kind of understanding what technologies are suitable for each industry's operations, given that there are multiple technologies available for decarbonisation, including renewable energy, electrification, obviously hydrogen. What I've found is everybody has a mindset of there not being a single solution that fits all industries. So there's no magic bullet solution. So in line with that, we are trying to help guide our audience in building a toolbox of technologies that are tailored to their own operations.
Yeah, understood. I mean, basically, yeah, it goes beyond hydrogen, doesn't it? In terms of the Net Zero Summit's mission is really to focus on those HTA sectors and really provide them with the full suite of tools to help them with their sort of decarbonisation plan. So going beyond just hydrogen. So yeah, fascinating stuff, and certainly a really valuable addition to the agenda and the week. And so yeah, just for my thoughts, well done. It's been a fantastic to see the program come together. I know there's a huge amount of work that goes into it. So well done. It's shaping up to be a fantastic a week, and it's going to be an amazing event. I'm really looking forward to it. So well done to you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nad. I hope the conversation's as productive for our attendees as well.
Excellent. Many thanks. Look forward to seeing you all in September.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.